Share on my timeline, share in a group.
Let's do it.
Prosperous results. Next.
You want me to read? Oh, okay.
All right. I thought it would be good if someone had their phone and had it on here. Okay, so this way we can see. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to hit the go live button, okay?
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay. Let me just put go live. So there's a little delay. Here we go. Alrighty, well, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Lou Parika. I am a mindset coach. My business is Prosperous Results, just like the Facebook group. And today, joining me, I'm so excited to have extraordinary Realtor David Martiroso from the DNA Group, and he is located in Andover, Mass. So if you ever have any referrals this way, make sure you reach out to David. So today, David's going to explain to us and tell us why he got into real estate, how he overcame his challenges, and how he got to where he is today and living the lifestyle that he is designing. So welcome, David. So thrilled to have you here.
Thank you. Clap.
So David, tell me, so you've been in business now how many years?
So going on 12 years now that we've been in business.
Wow. Okay. So David and I we always have a pre-call, so you have a little bit of an idea of, what we're going to talk about. So David, why don't you share with us why you got into real estate? I thought that was an interesting story.
Yeah, so the way we got into real estate was we wanted to buy my dad a house. That was like a dream for us. And in the first month, we got rotated by like 5 realtors because we weren't qualified, and I told my brother, why don't we get our licenses, get into real estate, and we can actually help people, and help them long term. And we do that now. We'll have some people, like most of our clients are qualified, some are not. But then they can buy 2 years later and we stick it out and we help them, or what have you. So that's kind of why we got into it and how we started out. And then it just took off on its own into a big sales business.
Wonderful. That's excellent. So you're in business with your brother Arthur.
Yep.
If anybody knows Arthur, he's awesome. I've known David and Arthur, I don't know, maybe 5-7 years now, something like that.
Probably 7, yeah.
7 years, and we used to go to Bold together. So Arthur and I would just do some role play in the morning. We would do our scripts together. So I learned a lot from Arthur.
I remember that.
And David used to do YouTube videos. And you would show the agents how to handle an expired listing and a for sale by owner. So I watched David and Arthur grow through the years, and what I can tell you about them, if there is a word that I would describe them as, is persistent.
Yeah.
I think persistent is definitely like a dog on the bone. You are not giving up. So what was when you got into real estate, you and Arthur, what was your vision? I mean, you said, let's get into real estate. What was the vision for both of you when you got into the business?
Well, we initially got in to help my dad, right? And then after we got into sales itself, right? You hear realtors make a lot of money, right? So we wanted to make money. Obviously, that was something we really wanted to do. And as time went on, it changed from making money to helping people and helping other people because we got better. And You know, as time went on and as we got a little bit better and better, and we've been to so many seminars and read so many books that it just became about doing the right thing in our business and growing, and that I think took us to the next level. You know.
Yeah, having a serving heart,
Yeah.
right? So taking care of people, and when you follow the process and when you help people, the money comes.
Yeah, I think
The
so.
money will follow. Did you know you would be successful?
No. I actually our trajectory was not very successful. So what we did was our first year we only sold one house, and I used to get paid 35% to me at the first company I was with, and we only sold one house, and then the next year we only sold four houses, and if you know real estate, it's just like not enough. Then we did 8, then we did 11, then we did 18, then we did somewhere in the 20s, 30s, and then we kept going up. And in that time frame, our first 5 years, we both had full-time jobs, and then we ended up leaving those jobs. And I actually drove Uber for a little bit. I hate to admit it, but because after I left my job I was a barber cutting hair, making like 150 a day, 200 a day, and I would run in between the calls into the back office to take my real estate calls in between haircuts. And then when we left, because you hear like, oh, you should go all in to make money, we went all in physically. I don't know if we were all in mentally because it was so scary, right? And but what happened was I had to go back. We couldn't pay our bills. We were living in a one-bedroom apartment, and we were behind on our rent for 6 months. And my son was about 3 years old. And then somewhere after that, things just started moving forward in a much better fashion. And then up to now, which is 2020, we did 80 units, and that was for over 30 million. So now it's good, right? Now I don't have to worry about gas or bills. I ended up buying a condo, and now we're in the process of buying a 4-family. So that was 12 years. What I just said in a few minutes, but that was 12 years. So obviously there was a lot of ups and downs. You know, a lot of ups and downs.
So, did you doubt yourself?
In the beginning, not so much now. Now I have it. Now I feel like I could do a lot more because I believe in myself, and I have a proven track record, which gave me more confidence.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So let me ask you this: what was or was there a defining moment when you and Arthur both said, "We're giving up the jobs and we're going to do this full time"?
I don't know that I ever had a defining moment. I just think the progressive ongoing forward of this like relentlessness and learning, and eventually I think we just learned that look, we got to go all in, right? We have to like jump off the cliff to scale the ocean, as they say. So we did. I think we did it prematurely, but we didn't drown, you know what I mean? So we ended up figuring it out. But it was tough. We had some tough years, just like anybody, you know. But now, like, you know, things are a little different.
Yeah, so looking back, right? You can't connect the dots looking forward, but when you look back, you're able to connect the dots, right? So you can probably see, well, because we decided to do this, this happened. And then when we decided to do that, that happened. And it's just started to kind of snowball for you.
Yeah.
Right? Success started snowballing. And you started to build up your brand. People started knowing you. So let me ask you, where does a majority of your business come from?
So we've been in business for 12 years. Most of our business now is sphere of influence and referrals and just longevity business, you know.
Okay. So do you spend a lot of money on marketing?
We just started spending money on marketing within the last year and a half, And before that, all of our business was strictly cold calling and sphere of influence.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your cold calling years.
Yeah, so we used to do videos. I still do a lot of videos on my YouTube channel, right? So I used to do a lot of videos of me calling people and getting hung up on, because when I got into the business in 2009, that was extremely popular. At least I thought everybody was cold calling. I didn't know how else to get business. And when we sat in our company and went to the manager, what they said basically was like, go and call people, right? Call the neighborhood, call expireds, call FISBOs. Here's the scripts you should use. So my brother and I sat at a round table. This was when in-office phones were still a thing, and we sat there and we called. And the whole first year we got hung up on by everyone. And then and rudely. And then we would go back into the guy's office and we'd say, we got hung up on by everyone, and he would just say, just study scripts and keep calling. And then we asked him, we basically just said, how do you get business, And he said, I don't need to do what I'm telling you to do, because I get my business from sphere of influence. We were like, what? So we had no sphere. All the people I've called over the years became our sphere, and we've done business with those people, some of them 4 times, 5, 6, and 7 times.
Wow.
Like 7 pieces of business with one person. And all those people became friends of ours, and we do a lot of business with them, but they all started out from calling. And we did it because we literally didn't know how else to get business. Like we didn't know what else to do. I don't think I'm the brightest bulb, so I don't know marketing and all that. I learned it with the years and business experience, obviously. But in the beginning, I look back and I think I probably had no clue.
Yeah. But it got you where you are today, right? So that's why when a lot of times people set out to do something, or they want to do something, they get stopped by the hows.
Yeah.
Like somebody wants to do something, but they say, but I don't know how. Well, many of us don't know how to do anything that we first got into. Look, if we're a parent, we didn't know how to be a parent.
Right.
You just dive in and you learn as you go. Same thing with the real estate. You didn't know the hows, but what starts to happen is little by little, because you made a decision, right? This is one of the laws of success, like Napoleon Hill talks about in Think and Grow Rich. Because you had a desire, you had a burning desire, you made a decision. Once you made a decision, the hows, even though they may have come, maybe didn't come fast enough for you.
It never happens as fast as you want it. Never.
But the hows start coming to you. People, opportunities, circumstances, conditions, these all start presenting themselves to you.
Yep.
And again, when you can look back, you can probably connect the dots. So I wanted to know if you have a morning routine or daily activities.
Yeah, so I don't have a morning routine per se. I work out all the time. I eat good. My biggest morning routine that has been the most consistent thing that I do is a gratitude journal. And I've been doing that for a long time. I still do it to this day, and I like to write, I like to read, and I like to learn. In the morning is just something that I love to do. I think it's good for me, and that's just something I do all the time. So my biggest morning routine is I get up, brush my teeth, and I'll make my coffee, and then I'm drinking my coffee. I'm reading a bunch of different books, and I'm basically write down my gratitude journal. If something nice happened to me, I write it out, and I just write, I'm grateful for my son. I'm grateful for, I'll name the people if we did something together the day before. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for, I just write a bunch of things like that.
That's wonderful. I do the same thing. Can I ask you, what books do you typically read? Is there any particular authors or role models?
I have a bunch of books in my house. I like Dale Carnegie books. I always study John Maxwell's material. I really like Jim Rohn. I like Wayne Dyer. I listen to a bunch of motivational people, right? And all of them, some that have passed and some that are still around. And I just listen to. I basically listen to all these guys, all of them. We've been to the Tony Robbins seminar. We've been to the T. Harv Eker seminars. So we do a lot of stuff. So basically, I don't think there's many authors out there that are in that field that I haven't read or listened to their material.
Perfect. And you mentioned gratitude, and that is something that is a non-negotiable for me. I make sure every day, every morning, like you, I get up, I go exercise, and then when I come back, I write out my goal, I write out my affirmations, and I write out 5 things that I'm grateful for in the present tense, and then 5 that I want to be happening, but I write it as if it's happening now, right? So, and what happens is when you're in a state of gratitude, your vibration is much higher. I don't know how much you know about the law of attraction, if you're even interested in it, but it is the law. And when we're in gratitude, we're in a very high vibration.
Yeah.
So what happens is you are actually attracting to you the people, the opportunities, the circumstances that are matching that vibration. So gratitude is definitely an important thing to do every morning. And it's funny because the other people that I interview, everyone does gratitude.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Well, it must be something to it,
Everyone does gratitude. So, I wanted to ask you, because one of the reasons also that I wanted to have you as a guest is because I see a lot of your posts.
Yep.
And what I was attracted is that, wow, look at this guy. He is creating the life that he wants. And you show a lot of posts with you and your son, Julian, and I can feel the love. I can just feel the love when you post something, and we talked about it last time, but he bought you an ice cream with his very own money. And I could feel the joy and the pride coming from you just from the post.
Yeah.
Just from the post. And I see you be at, I don't know, in the woods or on the beach, or you're doing some exercise. And I said, bravo. Bravo, because this is what it's all about. To have a successful business, but yet have a successful life.
Yep.
Right? So tell us, how do you find the time, or what are your standards, what are your non-negotiables to make sure you're enjoying life?
All right, now we're getting to the good stuff. How much time do we have? No, just kidding. All right, so for me, it's obviously being a parent is a big deal to me. And just a little background. The reason that I personally believe it's a huge deal to me is because when I was 9, my mom passed away. When she was 35. It's the only tattoo that I have. And the closer I got to being that age, I was getting really, really, really emotional, just because, she's so young, right? She was so young. And 8 months after she passed away, we moved. We were born in Armenia, moved to Uzbekistan, and then we moved to Brighton, Massachusetts. And while I had both my parents when she was alive, my dad was never around. My mom I thought was great, My dad, and then when we came to the U.S., I used to get, as a young kid, I got in trouble a lot. Like, I was a troublesome kid, I was a little badass, Lou. And so my dad never, had my back, And I always said to myself, first of all, to have a kid is a gift, and to have a parent is a gift, right? I always thought, what if my son lost me when he was a little boy? And I feel like if a kid loses a parent when they're so young, you just never end up being the same, So I take with all that knowledge, I don't take anything for granted as far as my personal life goes. And the reason is just because I know, like, it would suck, So I never wanted to look back and say to myself, probably could have worked more and I could have made more money without a doubt. But you know what I couldn't do is buy time. And I always said that if I die today or tomorrow the next day and you go, hey, is there anything that you actually regret? And the one thing I would never look back and regret is that I spent time with my son, like good quality time. I teach him stuff. I talk to him like he's an adult, and he's he's like, I don't want to say he's my creation, like he's an amazing mom too. And but I just always thought to myself, I was healing the little boy inside my heart and soul, and I'm raising a good person to be out in the world. And I think that for me, that's like, it's not, people say you're a nice parent, you're an awesome dad. I just do everything I wish my dad did for me, and that's how I think about it. And that apparently is a formula for being a good dad. But like, I love him, and he's super independent because I want him to be. I don't want him to be like dependent on me. And when he bought me the ice cream the other day with his own money, because instead of buying him stuff, I taught him how to make money. And that was a very special moment because it shows you how he thinks, and it makes me feel like I'm so proud of that. And I just think I think it's awesome. Those are the things in life you can't buy. Like, money makes things better. We could go. The whole family went to Costa Rica.
Nice.
But before that, we went for a walk right outside the house. You know what I mean? And I think like, you can't buy that. You can't buy time, right? Look at Steve Jobs. He had all the money in the world and he couldn't buy time.
Yeah. Yeah. And here, what you're also doing, because you are investing time with Julian, and you're teaching him the things that what to, the pros and the cons, what to look out for, blah, 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 and to be independent. His success is like guaranteed. And I don't mean, financially, which that's highly likely he will be.
Yeah, he already probably makes more money than most little kids.
Yeah, but as a person,
he can't fail.
That's right.
This is what I wanted to do. He's like my little science project, if I could say that.
Yeah.
I just always thought that, I didn't come from a family, like when we moved to the U.S., the government gave us a lot of different help. We lived in like housing, and I see a lot of people that I grew up with still doing the same thing, right? And we kind of changed our lives a lot. And he was my project in the sense that I really believe that you don't have to. I believe this with my whole heart because this is what I was trying to prove to myself. You can be a horrible parent, or you could be a horrible person, or you can not have it all together. But even with that knowledge, you can go out there and advise somebody, right, from their early years to basically not fail. Like, Julian has no clue. If you ask him, like, are you happy or sad? The kid's gonna be like, I'm happy. Like, I choose to be happy. This is his life. He doesn't know any better. The way he saves money, like I programmed him, basically programming, right? Just like we're all programmed when we're born and when we're kids by environment, psychological, generational, familial, like we're all programmed, right? However you grew up, like doesn't matter, whatever your culture is, you programmed to that. And I just programmed him to think differently, but very easily. Like, if I make $1,000, I put away 500. If he makes $100, he puts away 50. He just thinks that's just what it is.
That's why you do it. Yeah.
And as far as him being a good person, he's just a nice. And I feel like I put that in his head a lot, and his mom did too. And it's almost like now, imagine if everybody did that. And it just proved. But the biggest thing it proved to me was just proving to myself that I was trying to, people used to make excuses for my dad that, oh, he had this hard life. He was like a single guy. He was this, he was that. And that's why he couldn't do certain things. He lost his wife and he had 3 kids and he moved to America. And can't we all have excuses?
Absolutely.
If I talk to you long enough, you're going to be like, I could, we all could come up with it, right?
Everyone has a story. Everyone has a story. Yeah.
And you can use them as crutches, I'm the type of person screw that. Like I don't want somebody to tell me like I just don't want that. I don't want to use the things that happen to me in my life as a crutch. That's so like stupid. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's a way of being victim. So you're taking control, and that's what with my whole program, David. That's why I became so passionate when I started studying it, because just like you said, just like what you're doing with Julian, is you are planting the seed. You are planting the beliefs that he can do anything.
Yeah.
But most of us are adults in those seeds. And those beliefs have been there our whole life.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you don't have the potential. It's just that you are being held back by your limiting beliefs. Because but it's just the seeds that were planted the way we were programmed when we were young. Absolutely.
Yeah, so you know what I gave them is confidence, belief in yourself.
Absolutely.
Which is, I struggled so many years learning how to believe. I think I'm just getting there, and I'm a freaking adult,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But you've given him the head start, so that's amazing. So how do you, because you have the business, a very successful business, how do you find the time? Like, is it the team is running the business?
Nope.
I should say that.
The time to spend with my kid?
Yeah, like how are you finding the time?
My whole life, ever since this business and the one before, I'm either at work or I'm spending time with my kid.
Okay.
And I've also, his mom and I have not been together since he was a young boy, right? Probably like 6 months or so. So, he spends half the week with her and he spends half the week with me. So I get a couple days like to just work, right? Where I don't have to physically be somewhere. So I use that time very wisely. And I put in a lot of work, but then there's also times like I used to do open houses on Sundays and Saturdays early in the career, and now like I'll do showings on some Sundays, but most of them I take off, right? I call it like Father Son Sunday, right? Happy Sunday, Fun Day, all that cool stuff.
I like that.
Because I can afford to now, and now we started building a team. Like our team did. $750,000 in commissions in 2020, which was our best year. And, obviously when you have money, you could buy a little more time, right? Like in essence, like I don't have to be everywhere that I used to have to be.
Yeah. What is the team's vision going forward? What's the vision for the team?
Yep. So if you know like Keller Williams and the Millionaire Real Estate System, our goal is to make $1 million, right? Mm-hmm. And then net $1 million, and then now moving forward with that, we're growing a brokerage teams. They have real estate teams now, but teams are basically what brokerages used to be, right? So what started changing is our numbers. Like my brother and I have become very good performers, and then in real estate there are no rules. It's not like playing 5-on-5 in basketball or 1-on-1 in tennis. It's like if there's 2 of you, you get compared to a team of like 50 people, right? And we realized we just can't compete, and I love to compete, so I wanted to be more successful. And now we're adding people to our team, and the goal for us now is to help people improve their mindset, realtors, because it's tough business, right? 87% failure rate. To help people make at least $100,000 or more, and to also help them. Whoever's on our team, whoever makes it on our team, right? Because everybody cannot just get on, to help those people make more money and just live better lives. Like I think I have I don't have it all. I don't think I'm the best by no stretch of imagination, but I have a good life. Like I'm happy internally, externally, and my family life is good.
Yeah. And that's a great sign of a leader. So a great sign of a leader is to have people become leaders themselves. So by you having your team and inspiring them and investing in them so they can grow.
Yep.
Right? They can grow, so everyone grows. So I just want to be aware of the time. So let me ask you as we start to bring this plane in for a landing,
All right.
what would your final words of wisdom be to new agents?
To new agents, new agents. So we talked about this before, you and I. I think that for new agents, it's like just be humble. You know, this business makes a failure mistake for new agents, and the mistake I think is this: when new agents come in, you know, people used to tell me the same thing all the time, like, "Oh, you cut hair and you know you deal with people, right? So you're going to be great at real estate." But it just doesn't work like that for some reason. So just be humble. I think everybody gets a really big head when they get into real estate because everyone tells you like you could be great, and like we all can be great, but for some reason the average pay, if you look up the average pay for realtors, it's like less than 45,000, right? That's the average. That means most people are not making money, right? And just be humble, right? You can't come there. I know there's some like superhero agents that come in and look like they're taking off. I wasn't like that. For me, it took a long time. And I think just be humble. Like, you don't know it all. Yeah, you can talk to people, but there's so much more to real estate than just like everybody who's halfway decent person can talk to somebody, right? So just be humble and be learning based and just continue learning, you know. Just know that you don't know it all. And don't think that you're as good as people say you are.
Let me ask you this. You know, every brokerage office has their stars.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone who's just gone into the business ever asked you, hey, can we go for lunch and could you share with me, you know, some tips or how you got to it? Does anyone ever do that?
Yeah, a lot of people call me from my channel, and I'm just saying thanks to some of the people on our Zoom, on our Facebook Live here.
Oh, good. Yeah, I guess
A lot of people. Yeah, I like to do it live. It's kind of fun. A lot of people. Hold on. Ask me the question again. I'm sorry. I lost my train.
I was just when new people come into the office, you know, every brokerage, every office has.
Oh yes. I got it. So sometimes people call me and like ask me questions, you know, and a few times people have taken me out, you know. I know we do that all the time. We're always like calling and making friends with people that are way above us just to learn. And yeah, so sometimes people do that. People call me all the time.
Good, good. All right, now for the people, for the veterans, for the agents that have been, you know, maybe 5 years or more, and they're either plateaued or maybe stuck, and you know, it's kind of been like a little humdrum, but they're comfortable, but they want to grow, but are not really quite sure what to do. What would you say to them?
I think for what, at least my opinion is for agents is that are more seasoned, I guess, is don't be afraid to make adjustments, right? The business changes, right? I'm sure if they've been in business for that long, they know that. But a lot of times, I think veteran agents, and probably even myself, I'm starting to be like a veteran agent, right? Because I look at new people, I'm like, these new people, right? They're probably like, this guy. And I think that for veteran agents, you just got to know that the business changes and you have to be able to change with it. And you can't sit so long that the business moves and then you make your adjustments, right? So just don't be scared to make changes, because obviously I see a lot of agents that are really good agents and then they get burnt out over time because real estate's tough. You know, I don't care what anybody says. It's a tough business psychologically, mentally. There's a lot to it. And I see people getting burnt out because they didn't set it up right. They didn't think long term. So just think like at some point you're not going to want to maybe sell as much, right? So you could maybe take your time and help some younger people develop their skills and have them join your team and But for the most part, for veteran agents, is just don't be afraid to make adjustments when that time comes, right? Videos show up, you better get on videos, right? Zoom calls, Zoom interviews, do that, right? Whatever you have to do, you have to start making adjustments, or things are gonna get tough sometimes.
Yeah, we get in our comfort zone for sure, and you do. You have to step out of your comfort zone if you want to grow.
Yeah.
Because if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll keep getting what you've always got.
Right. The business is like changing, but you're doing the same thing. That doesn't mean it's going to be working in the next 10 years,
That's right. Well, David, I want to thank you for joining us today, giving us your words of wisdom, sharing with us how you overcame challenges. And again, if there is one word to describe you and Arthur, it's most definitely persistence. So I thank you so much. If anyone has questions, again, I can't do two things at one time. I can't look at my phone and do an interview. So if there's questions on there, type them in, and somehow we can get them to David, and we can get an answer to you.
Awesome.
All right? David, have
you.
a wonderful weekend. I thank you very much for your time.
This is awesome. Thanks, Lou. I appreciate
All right,
it.
take care.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.